The incumbent I'm running against, his wealth has increased almost $100 million
What?
since elected. And he was investigated for sliding in language into a bill that was, of course, favorable to his industry.
All right, folks, we're back. This is the Foolish Optimist podcast. I'm your host, Amy McDonald. You know who I am. That's not exciting. I hope you'll take the time to follow the podcast wherever you are, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, etc. That really helps us. And if you're feeling magnanimous, you can also rate and review us. Today, our guest is very, very exciting. William Marks is running in Texas Congressional District 25. He is a 22-year-old Navy combat veteran. He's the husband of a nurse, father to two amazing teenagers, son of a public school teacher, and the recipient of the 2025 MacArthur Foundation Courage Project Award for defeating a Trump administration book ban. He's a Democrat running on a platform to make life more affordable, to expand healthcare for all, and then to bring ethics back to Congress. William, thank you for being here. Oh, wait,
Amy, it's a pleasure.
Before we go on, let me tell everyone where they can find you. You can find him on Facebook at Marks for Congress. Pretty much any social media that you think of as Marks for Congress, except for LinkedIn, that's William J. Marks. And then his website is williammarks.com. Let's get into it. Thanks for being here.
No, thank you for that. It's an amazing introduction. I'm a huge fan. Hello, everyone, with the Foolish Optimist podcast. Just thrilled and excited and grateful to be here.
I'm grateful to have you. I'm grateful to see that you're running, obviously, in Texas. Texas is a big state that all Democrats are looking at next year, hopefully, or this year. Gosh, we're in 2026. So we start this podcast the same way every time, though. What spurred you into action in 2026?
Yeah, I'm a 22-year combat veteran. I retired from the military, and I looked around and I said, this is not what I fought for. I didn't fight for billionaires to get richer while you're paying their taxes. I didn't fight for politicians in Washington, D.C. to strip away your health care. That's not the American way. And most importantly, as a member of the military, I fought for your right to protest. I fought for those First Amendment rights. We've all heard it. I may not agree with a word you say, but I defend with my life your right to say it. That's the spirit of military service. And I looked around. I said, this is not what I fought for. And I said, I have to do something about this. And lo and behold, my congressman, he's run unopposed. And this would be 6 years.
I noticed
6
that.
years in a row if
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah.
I saw that he's been running unopposed, and the Democratic Party, that is one of my pet peeves with them, is that they're just letting these races, and big races, right? Any congressional district in Texas is a big race. It's not some school board race for 5 schools. This is 800,000 people we're talking about. Unopposed. 6 years. What the fuck? Sorry, excuse my French.
Yeah, so what you see now, Texas is well known for gerrymandering.
Of course.
But this district, if you look at my district, starts way over in Dallas at DFW Airport. If I got in my car and drove a circle, it would take me 8 hours to drive a circle around my district. And if you look toward the middle of it, there's this zigzag. It goes like this. And you're like, why would there be this crazy zigzag? Well, guess who lives in that little zigzag cut out just for him? Roger Williams, the incumbent. They cut out a ridiculous zigzag just where his house is.
Insane. And not the first time we've seen this done, by the way. This is not special for Roger. They do this a lot. You're like the third congressional candidate who said this, that they're like, oh, they actually redistricted around him so they didn't have to move. And I'm like, make him move. He's a public servant. You want to serve the people? Get into your district, bro. That's crazy. Obviously, Texas is known for its redistricting, and I think we all got a brief highlight of what it looks like last year. So, I mean, when you're talking about this 8-hour district, obviously you're looking at a lot of different constituents and a lot of different lives, right? We've got rural, but we've also got city dwellers in Dallas and kind of everything in between. Are you seeing any sort of like big common threads when you're talking to people?
Yeah. So first I'll say, if I could start, my district was remapped
In 25?
and just a couple
Okay.
months ago, and it made it more competitive. I'm now in this, right?
Let's go.
Full in this race. It started out really kind of
It was like
heavily
Republican
favoring
19 or
the
something.
Republican. So
Yeah.
what happened was Republicans wanted to flip Julie Johnson's district, Congresswoman Julie Johnson. In
Mhm.
order to flip a district over here, they took all these Republican conservative voters out of my district,
Yeah.
shifted them over to hers. So that made, and I feel, right, you have to feel for
Yes.
Julie Johnson, Colin Allred, those folks, Mark Vesey.
I mean, so
You have
many.
to feel
Yeah.
it, right? But the remaining districts, now we're more competitive. I'm right in this.
So I heard an interview with the state rep who semi-voluntarily locked herself in the state capitol by not
Nicole
signing.
Collier,
Nicole
we have
Collier.
overlap. Yep.
Yeah, I heard an interview with her a couple days after it all wrapped up, and she was pointing out that things like this. She was like, in their haste, they've actually made a lot of other districts more competitive, and I wanted to distract them. And I was like, of course you did. I was like,
Yes.
people asked me what was going on, and I was like, I'm not in Texas, I don't know, but she is a very brilliant attorney. I know she knows what's going on, so I'm just gonna say,
Yeah.
do you, Nicole?
Yeah. And
Madam
guess what?
Representative.
You're totally right. And in fact, we now have overlapping territory.
Cool.
She's the Texas State House. I'm congressional. We have overlapping territory. And even better, worse for Republicans, better for Democrats. This new territory, about 200,000 people or so. The incumbent, Roger Williams, is not their congressman.
So they don't
That's
even know
new.
who he
They
is.
don't
Yeah.
know him. He couldn't even find this place on the map. He's
Yeah.
got no name recognition. He doesn't work for these folks.
Yeah.
And they're 70% Democratic leaning. So I'm right in this, folks. This is a competition for Texas 25.
That's exciting. I mean, it's terrible for these other congressional districts. It's also terrible for their constituents because obviously that's the point of gerrymandering.
Sure.
People forget that when we gerrymander and when we do voter suppression in 2025 and 2026, it's not physically violent. It's not what we see with the civil rights movement where they were arresting people trying to register to vote or paying poll taxes and things like that. But this is voter suppression and shutting down polling places and things like that. They've just gotten sneakier about it. It's not, they know they can't be violent anymore.
Correct. And Texas is the worst for voter suppression.
Yeah.
The Tarrant County, which is the Arlington, Fort Worth area, has reduced early voting locations to the bare minimum. Folks have to drive miles and miles to get to a voting location now.
Yeah.
I was this week standing in Cleburne, Texas, Johnson County, and I was standing in the middle of an intersection in 3 different congressional districts. If I looked one way, I was in 6, the other way I was in 17, the other way I was in 25. And I've talked to hundreds of people. They say, I have no idea where I can vote now. So
Right.
they have to look up their voter registration, go to a link, see who their folks. This is voter suppression. They're taking away your voice and they're taking away your fair shot at educated voting.
Exactly. And you're right. Texas is obviously notorious for this. And it's also, they do other ways with the voter roll purges and stuff like that. And Governor Abbott really leans into that in a big way. So it is just, anytime we make it even the slightest bit harder, it's voter suppression. And people are like, you just can't get out and vote on election day. No, people have jobs. People have kids. People are taking care of their parents. People are sick. There's 1,000 reasons why people cannot go in a 12-hour window. I just found out Indiana, you're only allowed to vote from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on election day. And I'm like, that's, you have a child, game over. I mean, like crazy.
You're right. And there are so many things when elected on day one, I'll get behind things like, why isn't election day a national holiday? Get right. It's not right. You have to go to work, then find childcare, then drive 3-4 miles to vote. It just doesn't make sense.
And then you're standing in these big lines because they've shut down other
Yeah.
polling places. And I had an issue with my voter registration in New York one time, and they sent me to a different polling location. And then that polling location sent me back to the original one. And I had a real conversation with the poll workers. I was like, just so you know, if this had happened to anyone else, they wouldn't be voting right now. I will
Yeah.
never miss an election because I'm a psychopath. I will wait 6 hours. I will do what I have to. But had this been someone else, had this been anyone else in my friend group, I know they just wouldn't have voted. So we gotta figure it out. We have technology. Voting should be easier, shouldn't it? Like, we're in the 21st century now. Maybe it should be easier than the 1800s. But so your district, we're talking about like 800,000 people.
Mhm.
That's a ton of people. What are some of the bigger like constituencies in
Mm.
the district?
Yeah. So again, a crazy gerrymandered district. I have a strip along northern Arlington,
Okay.
along I-30. Then it goes deep into southeast Fort Worth. That's the area where Roger Williams is not the incumbent. This Nicole Collier's
Yeah.
area. And then it just starts heading west into rural Texas. 13 total counties. I can drive
Crazy.
northwest 2 hours, due west 2 hours, almost to Abilene, southwest 2 hours. So I've
Mhm.
got a mix of suburbs in Arlington, very urban in Fort Worth, and then rural in 12 additional counties from there. And that's why it's important to be out there,
Yeah.
meeting people in person. I am now in month 7 of my campaign. And I started out by saying, I'm not going to win this by spamming you, by buying billboards, by texting at random times. I'm going to win this by meeting people in person,
Yeah.
shaking their hands, listening to what they have to say, where they are.
Yeah.
So this week, I already was in 3 different counties, meeting people where they are, listening. That's how you win. That's how you win.
100%. That's a conversation I have with like pretty much every single politician that I'm advising. People think that people make decisions from the internet or even a text or a phone call, which is not how they make decisions. It's like a permanent rule of sales. You need either face-to-face time via Zoom or better yet, meeting in person will win every time. That
Yeah.
is salespeople have been telling everyone that for 150 years. And that's why people went door to door. And that's why people knock doors, right? That's the best way to get these conversations started.
Yeah. And when you do, it's inspiring. And I wish more people would do it. First, for anyone out there who has never knocked on the door, we don't send you to the crazy MAGAs.
Mm.
No, because they're not
Yeah.
going to vote for us anyway. We know that.
Yeah.
We send you to Democratic leaning supportive doors.
Right.
And so a lot of people are hesitant. I get it.
Yeah.
But after talking to folks who are supportive, you know what you hear? Thank you. Thank you for asking what's important to me. No one's ever knocked on my door before. No one's ever asked before. Thank you. So for everyone out there who is a little hesitant, I promise we send you to the supportive areas, and that's who you talk to. It's really inspiring.
It really is. And people get really excited. And I'm because I am a salesperson and kind of crazy, like knocking doors is one of my favorite things to do. Just because it is the moments that you get the most impactful conversations. What are you hearing from some of these doors you're knocking on? What are some of the big issues?
So what I look for are issues where everyone can agree on. It's the things you feel in your gut, right?
Yeah.
When your gut something's wrong, you just are looking for someone to help fix it, right? And I'll give you a simple example, right? Not really congressional, but you feel in your gut when you go to the DMV,
Yeah.
you feel in your gut, right?
Right.
This process is broken. And so that's at a local level. What I do is I find those things at a national level that we all can agree these things are broken, right?
Yeah.
Healthcare. The healthcare system is broken when billion-dollar corporate healthcare companies, get this, they make more profit when your claim is denied, right?
Yep.
They make more money when your care gets worse. You know in your gut that's wrong. You know in your gut, every time you fill out 28 pages of paperwork and you leave the hospital and your bill is 50 pages long. Somehow it says you owe $30,000, but it
Uh-huh.
comes to your house and now you owe $824. The system's broken. Folks, we feel that. That's what I want to fix. That's what I hear when I'm talking to people. What I hear when Jeff Bezos pays 2% tax, when Elon Musk is not paying any tax, but we're out here paying 20% tax. When Warren Buffett says it's not fair that my secretary pays more taxes than I do.
I
When
know.
Warren Buffett says that, the system's broken.
Yeah.
Those are the things I listen for, and those are the things we can all agree on and all get behind. That's what I'm trying to fix.
Those are two massive things. And I think people are finally like waking up to the billionaire issue, if I'm being completely honest. It was well hidden by, and I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but like a lot of members of Congress get their campaigns paid for by some of these people. And
Oh, yeah.
oh, I see why you might cater to someone who gave you $2.5 million last year. It's a little bit
Yeah,
more than
also.
my $25 that I donated.
So another one of my priorities, bringing ethics and integrity back to Congress. On day one, I will move to ban individual stock trading by Congress. Congressmen should not be playing the stock market and getting rich while they're
Crazy.
in office. The
Crazy.
incumbent I'm running against, his wealth has increased almost $100 million
What?
since elected. And he was investigated for sliding in language into a bill that was, of course, favorable to his industry. He's a car dealer.
Oh,
So he was already under investigation for that. So on day one, I'll move to end individual stock trading. I'll end the revolving door between lobbyists and Congress, go back to lobbying, go back to
it's
Congress. We need to end that door. And don't even get me started on Citizens United, dark money. We need to overturn that. And the last point for all the listeners, again, you know in your gut this is wrong. The system's corrupted and broken. So if you want to fix it, if you don't want politicians to take this dark money, you've got to donate to Grassroots candidate. $5, $10. That's what it means to be grassroots, right? That's what it means for a candidate like me to turn away corporate PAC money. It means I need to raise money grassroots by individual $5, $10 donations.
Mhm.
That's the only way it can happen.
That's the truth. We need enough people in Congress fighting against this exact same thing, and they can't take the money and go and then say, I'm going to overturn that. That's not going to work. That erodes the public's trust even further. And I think we already have this massive trust issue for good reason. There's exactly all the things you just said it feels wrong in our gut. I've had conversations with other people who are like, well, it kind of just looks like corruption. And I was like, perception is everything. I don't care if it's corruption or if it's not corruption. It does look like it. And that's enough for people to feel really gross about what the fuck's going on in our politics. So
Yeah.
that's
You said
awesome.
it. It gives you this gross feeling inside. It gives you,
Yeah.
but the incumbent here, he's been handed government political jobs his whole life, going back to the 90s.
Wow.
It shouldn't, your entire life, you shouldn't get to be 80 years old and the only thing you've ever done is be a politician. That's not right. It gives you this gross, scummy feeling. Whoa, I've got cats.
I mean,
We've got cats on the loose.
I I love cats. I want to get a cat so badly. I'm
Do
so
we want to
excited.
see them?
Yes, yes. Cat tax. Cat tax.
This is one of
Oh,
three. Mishka,
hi, Mishka.
look at this one.
Are they all furless?
They are all hairless Sphinx cats. He wants to run away. There you
Just
go,
get me out
buddy.
of here, Dad. I don't like
They
cameras.
are. So believe it or not, quick side note, my wife and I met because we have essentially the same hairless Sphinx cat. And she had the same exact picture on her Facebook page as I did. I said,
Oh
holy
my,
cow, we have the same exact hairless Sphinx cat. That's how we met.
that's so cute. That's like this is what we tell the young people. Find what you love. Find other people that love the same things that you love, and you will find friends. You will probably find love, and you will find community. It's people. People are like, I can't be as weird as I want to be, and I'm like, but you can.
Go for it.
Actually, you
Yes.
should. This is how you find your people.
Yeah. I
Like,
think Dr. Seuss said, embrace your weirdness because you'll fall in love with the weirdness of people around you.
It's perfect. Yeah, I think this is very different from what we were just talking about, but there is obviously a conversation around like everyone being very lonely. And I think part of it is because our lives are so on the internet and so open to everybody that people are so afraid to just be themselves. And I'm like, just be weird. Life gets better. Lean into
Yeah.
whatever you love. And if it's weird, it's weird, but people will be weird with you.
And it's authentic.
It's,
People know.
yeah,
People know when you're being a politician, and people know when you're authentic.
yeah,
And that's why, I have quite a bit of momentum now. And I attribute that not to social media, not to for sure I'm not spamming people. It's just going out there and saying hi, giving
yeah.
hugs when someone needs a hug.
People can smell the bullshit really easily. Like you can't get away. You can't be a good politician, but you cannot be successful in life if you don't know how to be genuinely authentic to your own self. It just doesn't work and you can feel it almost immediately. Most people can. So I want to go back, revisit our 800,000 people in Congressional
Sure.
District 25. Do you have a primary?
I did. I have a last minute out of nowhere primary, which is okay. It's healthy. It's healthy for the
Yes.
party. The way I view it is nothing changes.
Right.
I started this campaign back in June. I have the same message that I think I'm bringing to the heart of what people want. So nothing changes. It's a matter of who's working harder
Yeah.
and who can build trust.
Mm.
I think I'm doing that.
But so after the primary, how are you going to get the people of Congressional District 25 to just show up? I mean, that's the big
Yeah,
issue. Voter
it's
turnout,
all
even
about
in,
voter turnout.
yeah, even in 2024, voter turnout decreased in Texas, across
Yeah.
Texas. So what's your thought process there?
Yeah, you're right. It's all about voter turnout. We've got to get back to 2018 voting numbers. If we just get back to 2018 numbers, Kamala would be president. Beto O'Rourke would be governor. We need to get back to the 2018 energy.
Hmm.
It's a matter of voter turnout. And I will tell folks, if you're not mad now, it's time to get mad. It's time to start flipping tables, as
Yes.
James Tallarico says.
Yes.
And what I tell folks is, it doesn't have to be a Herculean effort where your entire week. No, share one social media post, donate $1, attend one 30-minute meeting from your house on Zoom. So what will get us there is it's not the hardcore supporters that are out there marching. I get it. I love you. And I'm counting on you.
Yes.
But it's those folks who are home, frustrated, exhausted, and they don't know what to do. Start by sharing one social media post. Start by sending one email to your congressman, and start by donating $1. Those are all easy, fast, and basically free, or $1.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's the whole thing, right? Like we need people that are volunteering on campaigns. We need people that are getting involved in campaigns. We also still need our protesters, which people are doing left, right, and sideways all across the country. Even if you're not seeing it, the media is not really showing it. They didn't show all last year. They were avoiding talking about California, but there were protesters out every day in Los Angeles for almost 9 months straight. And now, of course, we're seeing the same thing in Minneapolis. And we need those people, but we also do need the people to reaffirm our democratic structures. We have to keep investing into the institutions or they will fall apart.
Yeah, that you said it. It's investing. It's
Yeah.
investing into the institution, into the process. It's investing into your own livelihood,
Future.
your own best interest, your own future. And again, don't try to run a marathon. Run a couple steps, right? Walk, crawl, run. That's what we need.
That's exactly what we need. I love that. Do you have any events coming up in like the latter half of February that people could come and see and meet you?
Yeah, tons of events going on.
This doesn't come out until February. So
Okay.
February events if you have them.
Okay. I will. So the way you find out about February events, Simple. Go to williammarks.com. I have links on my website, Facebook events, and Mobilize events. So easy, williammarks.com. You'll see all the February events.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. If you care about politics enough to listen to this podcast, you've probably felt the frustration of trying to navigate government. Who's your city council member? State? What district are you even in? It shouldn't be this hard. Luckily for us, there's Civic Politics, a free app that brings all your elected officials together in one place from City Hall to Congress. No more hunting across dozens of outdated government websites. Just download Civic Politics on the App Store or Google Play Store and finally have your representatives in the palm of your hand. Follow at civic.app on TikTok or civic.politics on Instagram to be the first to know about the latest features. Let's actually revisit the book banning thing.
Let's do it.
Because this is one of my favorite things about you is the fact that you actually stopped a book ban at your alma mater. So tell me about that.
Yeah, thanks. I'm a graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy, 22-year Navy veteran. Go Navy. And again, I reiterate, I fought for my country, and I look around and this is not what I fought for. And these are young adults. These are the next generation of leaders. Within a few months, they're going out to lead our Navy and Marine Corps. When I saw the Trump administration implement a book ban, whitewashing history, erasing the struggles of American history, I said, I cannot stand for that at the U.S. Naval Academy, my school. That's my school.
Yeah.
So I put together a coalition of 1,200 people from around the country. I flew all the way to Annapolis, Maryland, boots on the ground. And I said, you can ban the book from the library, but you can't stop me from buying copies of all those books. That's right. I'm handing them out right at the gate of the Naval Academy. We were loud. We were visible. We were boots on the ground, and they saw that. And again, this is one of those things where in your gut, you know it's wrong.
Yeah.
And the response was overwhelmingly positive, so positive, and we were so loud and so visible, they overturned this horrendous policy, put 381 books back on the shelves, mostly minority author books, put them back on the shelves. I walked over to the library. The librarians were ecstatic. The students were ecstatic. I flew back to Texas and I said, we've got something here. This is a spark.
Yeah.
The spark is you find those things where people know, they just know they're wrong. You have that scummy feeling something's not right, but then you make a promise and you keep that promise. You make a pledge and then you keep that pledge, boots on the ground, and you don't let up until you win. And I said, we've got a spark. We're going to take this to Congress, and here I am.
Hell yeah. That's such a great playbook, too, to map out for other schools going through this. You know, I make history content, and I just have to tell you, if you are pro-banning books, you're never on the right side of history. It's like formulaic. No matter where you are in history, if you are trying to keep people from knowledge and you're trying to keep people from information, that is never a good sign.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
And they get caught, right? They get caught all the time. And when people realize it, again, they know this isn't right, especially at the U.S. Naval Academy. The grown adults, the next generation of military leaders. What? You can't learn about our own history? You're supposed to be writing an essay and you're handcuffed from, you're censored from reading these books.
It is.
It's just
That's what it is. It's fucking censorship.
It is.
Which is, again, this goes against the Bill of Rights and against the general attitude that America was created upon. So I love that you did that. And it also shows just what you said, right? The power of people showing up, the power of relentless pursuit.
And the folks, my volunteer group there in Annapolis, most of them did 30 minutes.
Right.
They said, hey, can I help? Can I take 10 books? Remember, we bought all these books. They said, can I take 10 books? I can stand here in a coffee shop for 30 minutes, guess what? They handed out 10 books in 30 minutes. That was the best they could do. And guess what? That was enough.
You think about it mathematically, right? You said about 1,200 people joined in this pursuit. 30 minutes times 1,200 people, what 3,600 minutes. Like it compounds very quickly.
And that's why protests are important. So, folks, if you think your phone call doesn't matter, it does. Just imagine if Ted Cruz got 5 million phone calls, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine if your senator, rep, imagine if their phone line was so jammed up with millions of calls, right? They would turn, right? They would fix the problem. Imagine if outside their office, there was 100,000 people
Yeah.
standing outside their office. Do you know how quickly they would turn around these bad policies? So your one phone call does make a difference. Your one 30-minute protest does make a difference. Your $1 donation makes a huge difference. Folks, it's up to you. It's up to you out there.
It's literally compounding. And when you make your one phone call and you tell your 5 friends to make their 5 phone calls and they tell their 5 friends, it just like expands in a web. And it's so true. It's so true. People forget that there are like over 300 million of us. And I would argue that at least 160 million Americans right now, probably more than that, probably 200 million, do not like what's going on. So if 200 million people make one phone call each, all of a sudden things are heating up quickly. Yeah. So you're running on a platform of affordability. Can we double click into that a little bit? What is affordability looking like in Texas's Congressional District 25 specifically?
First, let me show you Sherman.
Hi, Sherman.
Second cat. He's a shy one. Yeah, so I'm running on an affordability of grassroots values. First, we're going to make your job better by making billionaires pay their fair share. We're going to make these billion-dollar corporations pay what they owe. No more, no less. No one's asking for a handout. We just want them to pay their fair share.
Yeah.
We're going to invest that into your job. We're going to make your wages better. Your health care plan is going to get better. Your hours are going to get better. Your benefits are going to get better. That's the first priority. The second priority, we're going to fix this broken healthcare system.
Yeah.
Where billion-dollar middlemen corporations are just standing between you and your doctor. We're going to fix that system. And then finally, we're going to make everyday living affordable for all Texans and all Americans. We're going to cut red tape. We're going to eliminate these stupid tariffs, which have been proven to be a tax on the consumer.
Of course.
We're going to prevent, right? We're going to prevent private equity billion-dollar corporations from buying houses, flipping the houses, driving the prices up artificially. And we're going to break up monopolies that reduce competition. Remember, reduced competition just raises the prices. Do you know when you go to a grocery store, you look down the cereal aisle and you say to yourself, oh, I have all this choice. All this competition is good for the market. It's going to drive down prices. Folks, guess what? I've got news for you. Those are monopolies. All those things are made by the same 2 or 3 companies.
I know. I was like, it's under 4 companies now.
It's a scam.
Monopolies are my favorite thing to talk about.
Yes. The pork, the beef, the poultry industry, they're controlled by 3 or 4 companies, 70, 80%. You buy Hillshire Farms. Say, okay, well, today I want Hillshire Farms, but tomorrow I want Jimmy Dean sausage. The next day I want a ballpark hot dog. Guess what, folks? It's the same company reducing competition. They're killing competition. They are raising prices on your back. We've got to break that.
So the other thing that monopolies are doing that we don't talk about as much is crushing innovation. It drives me insane, right? I'm, of course, recording this on my computer, which is a MacBook, and I have an iPhone, and these are my little Apple headphones. But like these big tech companies specifically, when they buy out smaller companies that are changing the world, the innovation goes sideways because they rely on people like me who are just going to buy it because of the brand. And it's driving me absolutely bonkers. And people are trying to find a time period that this is comparative to, and it is the 1880s, right? It's the robber barons. It's end of Reconstruction era, racial violence is going crazy. And then it's also the monopolies.
Yeah, if you look at court cases,
Yeah.
you will see records from Google and Amazon and tech companies. And they'll say, we had to buy this small company because if we didn't, they would be competition to us. It's in the records.
And people are literally like, oh, but America, the free market is so great. And I'm like, we're propping up these massive corporations that
Yeah.
are harming the consumer. And that's one of the common threads I see from our government right now is that consumer protections, they don't give a fuck about us, frankly.
And
So
the monopolies are killing us. The other
that's a
day I was on
huge
my
part of it.
phone.
Yeah.
I was driving around and I was looking for a hardware store. So I go to Google Maps, I type in hardware store, and I said to myself, so of course Home Depot comes up, but I said, I know there's a small hardware store
Right.
somewhere within a few miles. Well, guess what? Because that small mom and pop hardware store didn't advertise with Google,
Yeah.
didn't come up on my Google map.
Right.
It's a monopoly against small businesses. I couldn't even find it because the folks who run the maps are the folks who run the advertising, are the
Mm-hmm.
folks who run the searching. So if you're a small business, this is hurting you. This is nothing but hurting you.
All the time. Yeah. And in so many more ways than we even can visibly see, right? Like it's an iceberg situation. We can see the top like 10% of it, but of course we've got Google, like you said, Google advertising is probably something people are thinking about a little bit more now, but they also they hold the search function. They hold the ads, they hold the maps, they hold our email, our calendar.
Yeah.
It's
A lot of folks,
crazy.
you always hear, oh, is someone listening through the, microphone of folks? They don't have to. They don't have to listen.
They
They
have all of
have
our data.
all of our data.
Yeah.
And the company that does the map shouldn't be the company that does the search, which is the company that does your email. It's
Yeah.
the company that controls your information. We
Yeah.
saw that with Doge, right? They didn't save one penny, folks.
No.
Elon Musk didn't save us one penny. The only thing he did was steal your data. That's
Yeah.
why, because billion-dollar corporations are going to use it against you.
The interesting thing that has been happening to me is because I've been doing my little digital nomad year, so I've been in a lot of other parts of the world, and I've had to buy different SIM cards for different parts of the world for my phone, and you don't get spam calls if you have a European SIM card. You don't get spam texts. You don't get anything other than the people trying to reach you, which I don't think people in the United States, we even realize that we live this way. We're getting advertisements from Google into our Gmail inboxes. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like
And
it's
it
our
looks
personal inbox.
looks so real.
Right.
And you think, and oh wow, Facebook spam looks like an actual Facebook alert that comes from
Mhm.
Facebook. This is, Google, Facebook, Amazon, same thing.
Yeah.
It's what it is, right? It's an attack on the consumer.
Mhm.
And, I'm partial to Democrats. One of the Democratic platforms is to protect the consumer. The MAGA platform is to protect the billionaires.
Yeah.
And if you're wondering why you're getting spam and why your phone is blowing up and why your interest rates are out of control and why your data is being abused, it's because MAGA is protecting the billionaires while Democrats are trying to protect consumers. And everything we've tried to do to protect the consumer has been dismantled
Yeah.
over the past year. Folks, if you want your data to be safe, if you want your products to be safe and prices to go down, vote blue, vote for Democrats. We're trying to help you. We're trying to help the working class.
Yeah. What I'm seeing, at least right now, in a lot of parts of the country is people who are even further left right now than the traditional Democratic Party, which I think includes you. Honestly, I think if you're trying to overturn Citizens United, you push a little further left than the Democrats we see sitting in Congress right now. A lot of them are throwing their hands up saying, we can't do anything. And I'm like, well, you can. You're not doing anything, which is a really big problem. I do feel like you fit into more like of the traditional big L liberals party
Yeah,
than
thanks.
Democrat. I don't know.
It really comes down to finding. So you want to find the things that once people realize, once they sense it in their gut, everyone realizes the system is broken. Now, I feel it takes the Democratic Party to bring that to light
Yeah.
because MAGA has been corrupted by billionaires. It's going to take the Democratic Party to bring that to light. But once we do, you will see a majority of Americans will get behind this. It just takes the spark.
So I want to push
Just
back
takes
on that though, because a lot of Democrats get a lot of corporate funding from, I call them corporate sponsors, that are
Yeah.
very similar or aligned. Even some of them are even getting the same corporate funding. I mean, that's the crazy part, is that when you start to dig into these finances, you're like, oh, those are two different PACs funded by the same people.
Yeah. It's a broken system.
Yeah.
We all know it. It's a broken system where politicians get millions of dollars from PACs, corporate PACs,
Yeah.
and especially in Congress, as soon as they're elected, guess what? They need to start raising money again because
That's
their election is in.
crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
a couple ways to fix that. Overturn Citizens United. That's easy. You pass a law
Immediately.
banning
Yeah.
this corporate PAC money, and then let's push toward term limits.
Yeah.
There's no reason for you to be in Congress 40 years.
That's
There's
insane.
no reason for you to get into your 80s
Yeah.
and have nothing in life other than running for office, right?
Right.
These folks, they know nothing other than being a politician. So let's enact term limits. Maybe it's 6 years, maybe it's 8 years, maybe even 12 years.
The best I heard
Doesn't need to be 30 years.
the best I heard was 12 years in each house. So
That
you
works
can still
perfectly.
make a full career out of this, but you get 2 terms in the Senate and you could have 6 terms, and there's a timeline. You have to get out. You have to get things done. Like,
Yeah, think about
that,
it. The president, we wrote an amendment to the Constitution
yeah.
for the president to have a term limit.
Yeah.
Why is it any different for Congress?
And just
you'll
having that mental timer, being like, I have
Yeah.
to leave, maybe things would get done more. Because I mean, what I've watched in my lifetime is Congressional, like the number of bills they're passing is dropping rapidly. They're doing their job less and less. And you know, it's insane to me because part of it is this polarization of our country, of course, but like it's your one job to take care of the American people. And when
Yeah.
you don't do your job, people die.
Yeah.
That's
So
there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. How do you
the
still get elected?
reform, yeah, no, you're right.
I'm going
The
crazy.
reform, and it has to come in a package, right? But watch when we enact this passage, watch how quickly things change. First, ban stock trading, ban getting rich from being a politician. Then you ban them from being career politicians and taking corporate PAC money.
Okay, so
Then we enact term limits so they know, hey, I don't have to always run for re-election,
Yeah.
always raise money. And then you ban this revolving door between lobbying and Congress,
Yeah.
which puts a bookend. So you put the bookend at the beginning, you stop corporate PAC money, put the bookend at the end, you stop them from becoming a lobbyist.
I know,
And
I see
then
it.
watch how fast we reform this country.
I think there does need to be a ban on congressional members becoming lobbyists, frankly. Like, it's one of the most unbelievable things that I see happening. And it's like you have all these relationships and all these insider knowledge of what's going on behind the closed doors. And there needs to be a Chinese wall between lobbying and Congress. It's have you seen that study out of Princeton, the one that tracks the amount of money that's invested into lobbying? They put
I
it out
have
every
those
10
about it,
years, every 10
Yeah.
years. So they would send 2005 or 2004, 2014, and then they did it again very recently. And I've only seen the 2014 one, but basically it doesn't matter if there's 100% American public support for a bill or 0%. There's a 30% chance it's going to pass. It's all about the
Mhm.
money. And they studied the 10 years before the bill and they said, These companies, you know, the top 200 companies put in $5 billion and they get $4 trillion back. I just want to fall out of my chair. This is why people my age kind of checked out of politics for a long time.
Yep.
Because we knew I can go scream, I can go on a hunger strike in front of the White House for 2 years and I will A, die, but B, I will also not get anything done.
The decision is ours. Now
Yeah.
is the time. You either decide to protect the billionaires, billion-dollar corporations, billion-dollar lobbying operations, or you choose to protect the consumer, the working class, the American people. This is our choice. We have a choice in November. Vote like your life depends on it, because it may just depend.
I will be right back after a word from our sponsors. Government information shouldn't require a scavenger hunt. Luckily for us, Civic Politics is a free app that shows you all of your elected officials, city, state, federal, all in one place. Download it now on the App Store or in Google Play Store and have the information you need in the palm of your hand. I think people forget too, when we protect the consumer in the United States, like, great fucking things happen. Truly, some of the most wonderful things happen. And this is when we get people who have the capacity to create beautiful art, to invent new things, to build something in their community that is lasting, that is going to literally change lives. And it only comes when we have a strong middle class and people have the time and the energy to be able to do anything else. When you're working 2 or 3 jobs, you can't work on a passion project.
And it's only gotten worse over the generations.
Yeah.
There was a strong working class, middle class 2 generations ago. Now, 10 people control half the wealth in the whole country.
It's insane.
I've heard the argument, oh, well, if Jeff Bezos has $500 billion, it'll eventually trickle down and it'll have jobs for folks. Imagine if the working class, imagine if you had that $500 billion, you spend that money, you spend it at local small businesses. Now you have money. The local small business owner has a great living, makes a profit. Then they spend that money up.
Yeah.
Folks, it's all here for us.
We know trickle-down economics doesn't fucking work. We have 40 years of proof. It just doesn't work, and we know that. But we also know that what you're talking about, when people invest money into their own communities, it's like, it's not even dollar per dollar. It's if you give $1 into your community, it goes to 1.8, almost $2 gets spread around. There's also been a big media push around these billionaires. Or, bootstraps. They've done it all themselves. You can do it too. You can't. No, they're not going to give you room at the top to also be a billionaire. They're going to try to squash the competition.
And, look up your favorite billionaire. Chances are they started out already a millionaire, right?
Or close.
It's very convenient. Mark Zuckerberg came from a very
he was at Harvard.
Jeff Bezos got a starter loan from his family, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And we don't want to get started on Trump, who basically was born in to what he's lost more money, right? If Donald Trump, think about this, if he just took his inheritance and stuck it in the stock market and did nothing,
he would have more
he'd
money.
be richer now than after all these scams he's trying to pull.
But William,
right?
he's such a good businessman. For the people listening in the audio format, my face just dropped and I put big air quotes around businessman because I work in real estate, or I don't anymore, but for a decade I worked in real estate and construction in New York City. We've been trying to tell you that man's not a good businessman. It just, but you're right. I think it's important that we dispel this myth that people, even like with Amazon specifically, 1/3 of their workers don't make enough money to eat. So they're on benefit programs, right? So Amazon's not paying their taxes. Jeff Bezos is not paying his taxes. And they're not paying their workers enough to eat.
Yeah.
That's like goddamn near triple dipping into government and government assistance, which drives me. These people have full-time jobs. Why can't they eat? They need to you need to pay your workers enough to fucking eat.
It's called corporate welfare.
Yes.
You work hard. You deserve the American dream. You deserve to put food on the table. You deserve to provide for your families. And we will do that by making these billion-dollar corporations pay their fair share,
That's fucking
pay
right.
what they owe. If you're paying 22% tax, they should pay 22% tax. No more, no less. No one's asking for a handout. We just want them to pay their fair share.
Yeah. Well, and this also goes back to, talking about the minimum wage and things like that. I mean, the federal minimum wage, I think, hasn't changed since 2007. I mean, it should have changed in the last 5 years. Like 2019 to 2025, the price of everything has skyrocketed.
Yeah, and I hear that wherever I go. So what I hear two things at the same time. So this is where it takes a little bit of brain power to think through this because it's hard. This is a
Mhm.
hard problem. If you're a worker, you want minimum wage to go up. But if you're a small business owner, you're worried that's going to hurt you. And I've listened to hundreds of people. So the way I work through this policy is that if you're a billion-dollar corporation, Amazon, FedEx, Walmart, yeah, their wage needs to go up because they don't need to keep hoarding billions of dollars.
Yeah.
But if you're a small business, right? Let's say you have 6, 8 employees, you're a roofer, you're a landscaper, you're a hairstylist.
Right.
We have to protect those small businesses. So maybe we adjust it for them or we incentivize
I was going to say,
that
there's a
where
tax
they get an
incentive here.
incentive, right? Yes, guess what? We have a tax. So
Yeah.
instead of those tax incentives going to billionaires, those tax incentives go to those small businesses with 8, 10, 12 people. Folks, we
See, like,
can
it's
do
to
this.
me, it's not rocket science, right? So in the real estate world, we have different structures for and different legal procedures and laws around, if you're a landlord that owns 200 units versus a landlord that owns 3 to 4
Yeah.
units, right? That's very different and they're treated differently. And that's the same with these small businesses versus massive corporations. Everyone needs to be able to live and eat. And when you are a small business owner, you feel the heat a lot more, obviously, than a Walmart. Mm.
Yeah. It's all about protecting the small business owner.
Yeah.
Just this week, Trump's Treasury Secretary, he said, "Hey, I appreciate the small mom and pops, folks who may have bought 5, 10, or 12 houses. People, if you have 12 houses, right, they are not protecting the mom and pop small businesses.
Oh,
No one with 12 houses is a mom and pop. They
no,
are so out of touch.
no.
They have no idea of the struggles of the working class. It is time to vote them out. If you think a person with 12 houses is a mom and pop business, you are out of touch and need to get voted out.
You just have no idea what the fuck is going on. I mean, so like the reason why in real estate, especially in New York, it's like 3 to 4 units is because some of these brownstones are just naturally 3 to 4 units, right? That's why it was set up that way because they're like, oh, someone owns a brownstone. They've set it up so that they can rent out parts of it. Like, we just need to start to adjust the laws for the reality we live in. That's the
Yes.
crazy thing. There's so many laws on the books that are like from the 50s and the 60s, and you're like, that was great. It worked then. Many of those people are dead, frankly, and we need to adjust for what we have today.
Yeah. And something? I'm glad when people become millionaires. I
Oh, yeah.
want people to be millionaires. Hey, heck, you can go for 1 billion, right? Go try. That's the American dream. Go try to be a billionaire. What I am against is billion-dollar nameless, faceless corporations hoarding money
Yeah.
through corporate tax welfare.
And the
They don't
loopholes and the
play fair.
yeah.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
not. The system's rigged against you. So if you want to be a millionaire, I want that for you. I want this system to work for you. But right now it's rigged for these billion-dollar corporations on corporate welfare.
And I just want to remind everyone that to be a billionaire, you need 1,000 millions. I think a lot of times we forget that, right? So when you're talking about $500 billion, again, that's I can't even express that in the words that I just said, right? So if 1 billion is 1,000 millions, I wouldn't be able to tell you what 500 billion is in terms of millions. It's that much money. Nobody needs that amount of money to live, and it is at this point wealth and resource hoarding, and it's kind of crazy. And it's harming all of us. Literally every single person is harmed when someone hoards that much wealth and that many resources. We're going to move into our last segment. Can you remind everyone where they can find you and where they can donate and sign up to volunteer?
Please find me at williammarks.com. Super easy. It's just williammarks.com. Once you're there, that's where all the good stuff is. Social media. You can add your name to the mailing list, which is not spam, by the way. It's actually a really good mailing list.
It's not. I'm on it.
Yes. And I will even send you an autographed baseball card. There's a link, the William Marks baseball card. I'll send that to you. If you go on the website, it's williammarks.com. That's where
That's
you find me.
cute. I like it. Okay, so these are our rapid fire questions.
Okay.
You-
By the way, here's the baseball card.
It's cute.
I would love to send you one of these. williammarks.com.
Okay, we usually start with if you're a cat or a dog person, but we know that answer, I think. Are you a cat or a dog person?
How about this? I'm an animal person. Love
think-
all animals.
So I have a theory. I think cat people are animal people. I think dog people are dog people.
Interesting.
I'm a cat person, and I'm like, give me any animal as long. I'm not a huge fan of snakes. Snakes give me trouble, but I'll hold an iguana for days. I'm like a bearded dragon. Oh hell yeah. Okay.
My whole family, we're animal fans. There's a safari here a couple hours away from Dallas. You can see all the giraffes, the zebras.
Wow.
Love.
Are you a morning person or an evening person? When do you work best?
Evening person. I struggle. The kids have to leave for school at 7 in the morning. Folks, it's a struggle. The struggle is real.
I don't know why they put high schoolers in the 7 a.m.
Yeah. Well, the reason is if you're
sports.
so they have to stagger.
Yeah.
So middle school might start at 8:20
Yes.
for the buses. So for the buses to get around, the middle school has to start at 8:20. The elementary school might start at 7:55, but then the
Yeah.
high school has to start at 7:35.
I know, but why don't they flip it? Why don't they put elementary earlier? Because you can control when an elementary kid goes to bed, right? For the most part. When you get to
Sure.
high school, these kids are up late. They're going to the workout afterwards, right? They're on track or baseball or whatever, and then they have to come home and do all their homework. And their homework takes long. They're writing papers. Sometimes they have to stay up until 2 a.m. and then they're like, "Why are you falling asleep in class?" And well, I just wrote you a 6-page paper that I put off until the last day. Of course. Okay, so if you had to eat one meal every day for a year, and this has to be specific. You cannot just say pasta. It has to be one meal or you can't just say breakfast. One meal for 1 year.
Okay.
What would it be?
Yeah. So we're going to go with pepperoni pizza and a mint chocolate milkshake. And I
Sounds
got to throw
really
in a
great.
vegetable. Otherwise, my wife will kill me.
That's right.
So we'll do, pizza, milkshake, and like some carrots or broccoli.
That's a great answer. And you're right. We
My
all need
wife's
to be
a
eating
nurse.
more vegetables.
Yeah. Yeah. My wife's a nurse. She would kill me if I didn't throw broccoli in there or carrots.
Over the last weekend, I ate a pepperoni pizza and a Caesar salad twice, and it was just top notch, like really great. I was like right next to a good pizza place, and I was like, this is lovely. So, what was the last book you read?
Well, I'm a dad of teenagers, so Fahrenheit 451, folks. If you haven't read Fahrenheit, it's not an easy book, right? It's definitely above middle school level. It's
Yeah.
toward like upper high school level. But read Fahrenheit 451, read Animal Farm, read 1984. Those two are easier.
Yeah.
I'm a book person. You may
Me
have
too.
figured out I'm a book person. But folks, read one of those three: 1984, Animal Farm, Fahrenheit 451.
Also, it happened to be books that are mostly on the banned book list, pretty much. So, if you want to increase your reading, grab the banned book list and just read all of them.
On my Facebook page, you can read all about how I fought against the banned books and we won. And the list of 381 banned books is on there. So you can go to the William Marks Facebook page. There are a bunch of links. It might take you a minute to find it, but you'll see I was on Anderson Cooper, CNN, and the list of all the banned books is on there. And I have funded you to get a free banned book for the next 3 years.
Cool.
Yeah. So you can go to either my Facebook page or Operation Caged Bird. I fund 2 local bookshops. One's on the East Coast, one's on the West Coast. If you call them, go to their websites, and if you say, hey, I would like a banned book, can you send me one for free? They'll say, yes, William has funded this. They will send you a banned book for free.
That's so fucking cool. That's really cool. Everyone should take advantage of that. We have 2 more questions. Is there like something, is there like a food unique to Dallas or Fort Worth that
Oh,
everybody eats all the
we're
time, or is it just
we're birria taco people.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah,
so you take a look, now is it the healthiest thing? Do we fry it just a little bit? Yeah, but
it's
it's
so good though. Yeah, that's true. I mean, Texas used to be a part of Mexico. That makes perfect sense. And
by
then
the way, I'm also a second place chili contest winner for the Cowtown Democratic Party annual chili cook-off. That's a February event, chili cook-off. Come see me in February.
that's so fun. That's a great community event. I love a chili cook-off event. Okay, final question. What is your favorite thing about Congressional District 25 in Texas?
The inspiration and the spirit. I talk to folks around the whole district, and some folks, they're exhausted, they're tired, they're in shock a little bit, they're
Yeah.
stressed.
Yeah.
And I said, well, did you vote last year? Did you vote 2 years ago? And some folks, they say, you know something? No, I didn't. And I say, well, why didn't you? Why didn't you vote? They look me in the eye and they say, I didn't think I had someone to vote for. I didn't think I had anything to believe in. And I say, I'm giving you something to believe in. I promise. I have given my life to this country, and I promise I'm giving you someone to vote for, someone to believe in. And almost immediately, you get a big hug, and they say, I'm inspired. I'm motivated. I'm going to vote.
The perfect place to stop. Thank you so much. Again, William Marks, 22-year combat veteran running for Texas's 25th Congressional District.
Thanks, everybody.
If you've made it this far, thank you so much. Thank you for following The Foolish Optimist. You can follow us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, pretty much. We're going to be dropping new episodes every Wednesday, and you can watch the video episodes on YouTube. If you would like to, please give us a review, leave comments. You can also email us at thefoolishoptimistpodcast@gmail.com. If you see any really great candidates that I should be talking to, send them my way. Thank you.